I just don't understand why the bank keeps sending you these letters. You paid off the house years ago, didn't you? That was David's voice from the kitchen. I was on the couch, leg propped up, recovering from hip surgery. My walker parked beside me like an embarrassing reminder of age. I didn't answer right away. My attention was fixed on a ceramic mug, half full with cold peppermint tea. He walked in holding a white envelope. It says something about a reverse mortgage statement. I felt a strange twinge in my stomach. That's not possible, I said, reaching out for the letter. The logo didn't look familiar. The address was correct. My name was printed clearly on the top, but I had never taken out a reverse mortgage. My late husband and I bought this house in 1998 and paid it off in full before he passed. It was mine, debt-free. I was Catherine, 54 years old, retired senior claims investigator. I spent over 3 decades dissecting fraud, catching liars who thought they were smarter than the system. I knew forged signatures when I saw them. I knew red flags. And this wasn't just a red flag. It was a 5-alarm fire. I need the rest of the mail, I said, my voice low. David brought over the small pile. 2 more envelopes from the same lender. One was a loan activity report. The other was a monthly statement, addressed to me, showing a reverse mortgage loan balance of $183. So my mouth went dry. I shuffled to my office, ignoring the ache in my hip. The filing cabinet hissed open. I pulled my home deed, the last bank statement before retirement, and every tax record for the past 5 years. Everything confirmed the same thing. No loan, no lien, no reverse mortgage. I pulled out a magnifier to study the scanned signature on the document. It looked like mine, but I never signed it. The date on the signature? July 18th, just 3 days after my hip surgery. That's when it hit me. Only one person had been with me every day that month. One person who helped with my mail, who offered to take care of bills, who had access to my safe, my checkbook, my home office, even my birth certificate. Rachel, David's sister. My voice shook as I said her name out loud. The woman who had fluffed my pillows, who made me soup, who kissed my forehead and said, "You don't worry about a thing. I've got you." I didn't sleep that night. I was too busy comparing signatures and gathering documents. I felt sick. Betrayal didn't even begin to describe it. But I knew what I had to do. I wasn't just a woman recovering from surgery anymore. I was back in investigator mode. The thing about betrayal is, it's never loud at first. It comes in whispers, in the way someone brushes your hair back with one hand, while hiding a lie in the other. In July, I couldn't walk, could barely sit up without help. Rachel had been everything: nurse, secretary, cook, housekeeper. David was working full-time and grading exams. Rachel offered to step in until I was back on my feet. I welcomed her, trusted her. She had full access to my home. My locked filing cabinet? She knew where I kept the key. My safe. She asked for the combination to get my birth certificate for a medical form. My mail. She brought it in daily and sorted it for me on the dining table. And that week, July 18th, I remember it now. I was groggy from the medication. She came into the room with a folder in her hand. "I just need you to initial this power of attorney form so I can help pay your property taxes," she said gently. "You can revoke it later." I don't even remember if I signed anything. I just remember nodding and drifting back to sleep. I trusted her. God, I trusted her. Now I was looking at the loan application. And there it was, a fraudulent power of attorney with my printed name. A notary stamp from a bank across town. Rachel had gone in, pretending to be acting on my behalf. The betrayal wasn't a single blow, it was a series of calculated steps. That woman hand-fed me soup while using my trust to steal my life security. But I didn't scream. I didn't call her. I didn't confront her. Instead, I logged into my old work computer and pulled up fraud investigation software. I ran her name, her accounts. She had a bank account ending in 7,734, a private one David didn't know about. Within 30 days of the reverse mortgage funds being released, $80,000 had been transferred there. I looked up her social media next. My mouth went dry. Rachel standing in front of a white Lexus, holding keys with a bow. Caption: "New wheels, new season." Photos of her sipping drinks in Cabo. Another of her daughter holding a tuition check. Another with a spot tag around her wrist. My stolen money wasn't just used, it was flaunted. David walked in and saw the screen. He stopped mid-step. She bought that car." His voice cracked. "With your money?" "No," I said flatly. "With our home's equity." He sank into the chair beside me, face pale. "My sister." I didn't look at him. I couldn't. "We're not calling her," I said. "We're building a case." And we did. I printed everything. Made color-coded folders. One for the lender, one for the bank, One for the lawyer I hired the next morning, specialist in elder financial abuse and mortgage fraud. I wasn't emotional anymore. I was lethal. I called the notary's office, pretending to be a loan officer doing a post-closing audit. Old habit. I knew how to sound official. The woman on the phone was polite, chatty even. When I mentioned the loan number and date, she said, "Oh yes, I remember that one." She said her sister-in-law had hip surgery, so she needed power of attorney to help her with finances. I remember the scarf she wore, bright red, hair tied back, confident. She even joked about not being able to find parking. I thanked her and hung up. Rachel had always worn a red scarf in July. I had all I needed, David, and I filed a full report with the police, then the state fraud unit. A week later, I sent the entire package to the FBI's Elder Abuse Task Force, who responded within 3 days. The case was opened officially. Still, the agents warned us. Arrests take time, surveillance, paper trails, clearance from the DA. So I waited. And then came Thanksgiving. I told David we'd host. Like always, I'd play the role. Keep the mask on. One more time. Rachel arrived with cranberry sauce in hand and $1,000 boots on her feet. "Sis," she squealed, hugging me tightly. "You look amazing." I smiled. "You too," I said. "Prosperity suits you." She didn't catch the edge in my voice. Dinner was a charade of small talk and forced laughter. I watched her kiss her niece on the cheek, toss compliments at David, and comment on how hard the economy has been. I excused myself and locked the bathroom door. I needed 30 seconds to breathe. My chest was tight. My fingers shook, but I wasn't afraid. I was patient because I already knew the date the FBI had marked for execution of the arrest warrant. Christmas Day, December 25th, 3:15 p.m. right after dessert. I didn't warn David. I didn't trust his heart not to waver. He'd loved his sister his whole life. But when the knock came firm, sharp, official, he didn't move. 2 agents stepped in. "Rachel Moore." One asked. She turned, startled, her fork midair. "Yes, you're under arrest for felony wire fraud, identity theft, and elder abuse." Gasps, screams. David's mother dropped her glass. Rachel looked directly at me, eyes wide. "Catherine, please, say something. This has to be a mistake." I stood slowly. "No," I said. "You made a choice. You drugged me with kindness and stole my life. That's not desperation. That's theft." David stepped up beside me. "She's telling the truth," Rachel sobbed as they took her away. I didn't flinch. The trial came 9 months later. She pled guilty. At sentencing, the judge invited me to speak. I didn't bring notes. I told the courtroom what betrayal sounded like. How it felt to be conned not by a stranger, but by someone who fed you soup. How every photo of that Lexus felt like a slap. I asked for the maximum sentence. Rachel was given 6 years in prison and 3 years supervised release. 2 months ago, I got a letter from her, 3 pages long. She said she was sorry. She said she missed us, that she was in a dark place back then. I mailed a single sentence in response. "Your sentence ends in 2029. So does my consideration of forgiveness." And for the first time in months, I slept without locking my office door.